Kyle here from All Media Reviews. Plans this week are kind of unclear to a point, but do some reviews and stuff like that, like the Doom Flamingo EP, I think. But, and we got an announcement today that Mayor Hawthorne's Tuxedo project, their fourth album, Tuxedo 4, is coming out November 1st, which is all well and good. But unfortunately, there was an announcement yesterday that some news from Mew, the Danish band that I love, many love, was going to be doing something. Something was going to be announced. They had played some shows over the summer, like with the orchestra, I think, and they debuted a new song called Gliding, something like that. So the news was going to come today, and we're still waiting on the Kevin Gilbert KMG archive stuff. That's going to be coming soon, I'm sure. But as far as the Mew goes, then this news that they announced was going to be coming yesterday, on September 9th, so September 10th. I can just read it. They first posted a picture of Jonas Bjerre, the singer, and the bass player Johan Wollert, and the drummer Silas, and then this statement: farewell shows. Dearest Frengers, next year marks the 30th anniversary of Mew. It's been quite a journey that brought me and my lovely band mates on countless adventures for which I am eternally grateful, and none of it could have happened if not for you Frengers and your support. This is something I've never taken for granted and never will. For me, this journey will be coming to an end next year. Next year will be my last year with Mew. I have come to the realization that it's time for me personally to embark on a different journey and focus on other creative projects. I am so happy that we get to play these farewell shows and that I get to go on one last trip with my dear friends and founders Johan and Silas, as well as the Doc and Mads Wegner. I will be writing a longer post about all this soon. For now, I can't wait to see you out there at the shows next year. Love, Jonas. So, yeah, I mean, look at my Mew collection. I did the video, and I actually have two copies. I have another copy right over there of the last album, Visuals from 2017. Of course, Plus Minus from 2015. No More Stories from 2009. And The Glass-Handed Kite from 2005. And Frengers from 2003, signed. And I have, of course, the CD collection right here, which I'm showing the A to Z, but I guess I could do it. I have Visuals 2017. And I do have a CD copy over in there, actually, from Plus Minus. It came with the vinyl. But a couple copies of No More Stories from 2009. Then I have the Zookeeper's Boy EP, or single, I think it's an EP, CD EP from 2005. And I have a couple copies of The Glass-Handed Kites, one digipack and one jewel case. And then a couple copies of, only one copy of Frengers on CD. I thought I had more than that, but then I have from 2003, it was 99 or I think it was 2000. 2000's Half the World's Watching, and then the debut album of Triumph for Man from 1997. So I looked it up. Jonas Bjerre's birthday is in September, so his birthday's coming up. He was born in 76, so he's literally just a few months younger than me. But so what this statement says to me is really the band is done, or a hiatus. I mean, it's not. It's from a literal standpoint. It's just saying Jonas is leaving. And he did that project Tachys, Tachys, a couple of years ago. I forget who the collaboration was with. But, maybe he's going to be doing more work with that. I liked it. I admit that I liked it a little more than I thought, but I didn't go back to it. I'm guilty. It was formed in 2020. It's with Tobias Winter, a.k.a. Beachy, B-I-C-H-I, but I forget it was just a friend of his, or he's in another band, but I mean, it was like synth pop. You know, it was okay. You know, and then of course he had apparatjik, and he did that soundtrack. But he had apparatjik in the late 2000s, I want to say, and that had one of the members of Coldplay, and then it had one of the members of, it's like Guy Berryman. Is he from Coldplay? Yeah, yeah, he's from Coldplay. And then it had Magne Verholmen from Aha. That's right. And then Martin Terefe. He was the keyboard and guitarist, Magne, and Guy Berryman was the bassist and vocalist. And then Martin Terefe from a band called London Brew. He's the drummer. But and apparatjik it was 2010. They put out their debut on We Are Here, and then they followed up the year after something called Square Peg in a Round Hole Draft 1 and Square Peg in a Round Hole the next year. I don't know. The more people heard the Draft 1 one, but I wish listed. I don't even remember it, but anyway, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna just pursue his own stuff or something brand new or more tachys, or I don't know if he's gonna do artwork. You know, who knows? But I think that if you don't have Jonas with Mew, if you just have Johan Wollert and Silas, even if you have the two other hired guns that aren't really official members, Doc and Mods Wagner, it's not really Mew. I don't know. It feel like the way that Shaman, after Andre Matos left Shaman, it's like, is this really a Shaman? Or even the way Angra's become. I kind of think it's at least done for now. They're broken up. They could potentially get back together. Or I was thinking more of a more likely scenario would be if he did solo work or some other project and did collaborate. This is my hope. This is my sliver of optimism. The silver lining is that he could end up working with Bo Madsen, original guitarist who left after Plus Minus from Mew, who's done some other stuff, but I haven't. I've actually heard it. But I think part of the reason why Bo left was like when Johan left, the bass player was like family related, but I don't know if they were on the necessarily the best. I don't know, but it's been a while. He left I think it was right after Plus Minus, right after the Plus Minus tour, so that was in 2015. So it's been whatever. It's a little bit like the Brent thing with Phenomena, but now Brent's back with they reformed and did an EP and maybe more music, but in those reunion shows, but. I don't know. I mean, he's whatever. He's my age, so he's 48. He's about to turn 48, so he still has things to do. It's not like he's necessarily going to be retired from music, I wouldn't think. But if this is the end, I mean, the truth is, since Bo Madsen left, I mean, Visuals came out, which I know it had that guy from Jazz Kamikaze, but they have not felt, and has not, the music on here did not feel quite to that sort of magical level that Mew. Of course, Mew, in my previous video I made a few years ago, originally I didn't like, and then I was going to give up on them, and then I gave them a second chance, and I totally got won over. Saw them live 4 times. One time was just the encore, the same night I saw Caddisfly. It was like 2 times within about a 6-week period they came here. They once opened for Kasabian, and then they headlined. The headline show I didn't see all of, and then I saw them twice, once at the Triple Rock and once at in Minneapolis, and then once on the Plus Minus tour, and then on the Visuals tour, I believe it was 2017 or 2018 at the Turf Club in St. Paul. And I actually I got to talk to them. I got to talk to Jonas and some of the other members after both those shows, but I don't know. They're a special band, even though when just like Pure Reason Evolution, I haven't taken care of. They came up. I discovered them around the same time with Pure Reason Evolution and a lot of these bands and Ocean Size. Now Mew isn't British; they're from Denmark, although I know at one point resided in England or the UK. At one point, of course, Ocean Size and Pure Reason Evolution had broken up, and Mew was still around, even though they were sort of not doing a lot of work. But that's kind of why this statement from him, where he's not really saying the band is done, makes me wonder. He could just say it's a hiatus, or I don't know, because it's been, since 2017 we had Visuals. They did it, they've just been sort of, their activity's been sparse. They haven't broken up all these years, but you think about since 2009 even. They've always taken their time to some degree, but since 2009's No More Stories, it's like it's been 15 years, 14 years. We've had 2 albums, several tours, but several long breaks. It's almost like Mew's been like a side gig for like what they need to do to pay their bills. I don't know. But they always like were sort of in between where they had enough success. They opened for Nine Inch Nails at one point. They had enough success where they could still like, they were getting some kind of level of recognition and maybe income, but they never broke through to be huge, and they didn't want to compromise, so they were sort of caught in no man's land in a way. That's probably why they never really broke up. But I think it's weird with sort of that indie rock culture, for lack of a better word to put it. Alternative rock, indie rock, college rock, art rock, and that whole sort of scenester, hipster, pitchfork kind of demographic. Throw the needle drop in there a little bit, I guess. Mew have always been sort of there, but sort of never been massive within that. It's always been known in that area. But you think of a band like Foals, who came out a little bit later than them, but not much. Well, they're not like huge. They have flourished and they continue, even with the loss of a member a few years ago. I wonder, that's part of it, is that, I mean, then you think about a band like Dredg, who came out, actually formed around the same time as Mew in the 90s, but we're sort of getting more momentum at a little earlier stage. They've kind of gone on this sort of, treading water, little dialogue, but they're not broken up, and for a while. And but the guys in Dredg have other gigs, not necessarily. I mean, musical, yes and no. Gavin from Dredg works for Adobe, but I don't know. Am I sad? If this is the end of Mew, it is sad. Although it's sort of they've been kind of like, not in purgatory, but it feels like this sort of treading water for so long with so little output. I mean, 2 albums since 2009, so 15 years. I mean, that's like Tool level almost. And I mean, again, they've done a few tours, but not one. The last time I saw them was 2017, so that was already 7+ years ago. So it's almost been a decade. So it's just kind of like, well, they're kind of breaking up, but they haven't really had a lot of content and activity. So it sort of doesn't feel from a activity, just sort of the holding hope. The hope would be that, like I said, that Jonas pursues other music just like he's done Tachys, and maybe he ends up collaborating with, I think it's like Bo Madsen would be an obvious, or something else. I don't know. Or maybe he collaborates with Kimbra. Kimbra, she has an album coming out in a few weeks. I'm not optimistic about it, but I know she's a fan. She's a very big fan. Maybe what if they formed a band? He had like a she and him kind of thing. I don't know. Because they're both singers, of course, but both very creative. And, he sang on a bonus track of hers and vice versa, of course. But I don't know. I kind of wonder. It's like a Portnoy thing outside of Dream Theater. I wonder if there's still is potential opportunity for some music to like beyond the stuff he's done, or we'll get the reunion, if assuming that this, whatever he's saying, he's going to come up with more details soon about it. We'll probably find out more in May. Maybe they'll record a live album or something. They had the one DVD for those last shows. Don't foresee traveling, unfortunately. I'd love to go to Denmark, but maybe some time passes and we'll get some form of Mew. I know we'll start to get Mew tributes. There probably have been some. I mean, as the Mew lover in me, the band who's from Norway, yes, I believe it's Norway, Team Me, have filled that void, and they've put out, what is it, 4 records now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records, I think. It's either 4 or 5. I think it's 5. They had the 2, and then they took a long break, and then I think it's 4. But they put out, and not that they're identical to Mew, but they fill that kind of Mew void. Unlike some of these bands that get the Mew comparison, they're combining other styles, like what is it, Astronoid and Vola and stuff like that. I mean, Time of Orchids, at least Team Me at this point is still an active entity, and while their last album I would say sounds the least Mew-like among all of them, I kind of feel like they have filled that void for me among other music. But you know, I think I'll try to do either now or maybe around the time of those farewell shows for Jonas, try to do maybe a more in-depth dissection or whatever reviews, just like I did with Pure Reason Evolution of all these records. Because I did the video a few years ago. I've talked about them, shown the vinyl, but I haven't talked as much in detail. It's and of course in the progressive art rock story, they're a pretty prominent player. So it's pretty sad to think that this could be the end of them, or the end for quite a while. But you know, sad in that sense, kind of relief, or just kind of like, you know, I'll think about it, but I'm not going to think too much about it. There's so much other music out there anyway. So what are your thoughts about the information, the statement that came out from Jonas Bjerre leaving Mew, and in effect probably Mew taking an indefinite hiatus, if not being broken up or whatever? What are your thoughts about that if you're a fan? If you've never heard them, you know, highly recommended if you like very artsy pop, kind of textured dream pop with progressive undertones. And you can handle the vocals, which took a while for me too, and then I eventually got more accustomed to them, more used to them. But you know, Glass-Handed Kites and Frengers. Frengers is a, you know, that's a comfort record. It's a record I could listen to. It's got so many songs that are sort of like therapy, you know. So, and I think it's probably, even though I think, and the Glass-Handed Kites is probably the most well-known record. It has their most well-known songs and most commercially successful. I think among most fans, this is their sort of first choice, or one that they go to most often. But it's so splitting here. That's what the beauty of their music. So, but again, thank you for watching. Love to hear from you about that. I got hopefully some reviews and this Queen thing coming up next week from with Brennan from Death by Unicorn. But again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.